not in any of this.
But because you got to, I can't discuss it too much on air. Because you got a national insurance number, you can change your status at any time. You can do it
Uh,
every 2 weeks.
Okay. Well, if you can reach out with me or talk with me off when we're not recording, that would be wonderful.
You've got my private contact, and you can give me a call. I, I help anybody long as I keep it in private. You can ask Leona. I'll never discuss anybody else's business.
Yeah, and maybe the three of us could talk together since me and her have the same thing.
You need to get your thingy done, Leona.
Oh.
You live in trust.
I know I'm stuck there. I'm stuck.
Do you know when I says you can always build off a foundation?
Yeah, I know what you
start
mean.
Another
get anyone done, and
Fearless Floyd off the record. Fearless Floyd show it off the record. I think Jesse's gonna start one of those.
Well, what it is, if you ain't got your foundation, you ain't got the ability to talk through it. Because when you did like minutes and elect in a trust, it's like moving, it's talking. It's because it's a living trust. It's your body that's actually talking. So you've got to do your foundation first. It'd be pointless trying to jump to the second step before you've done your first step.
Yeah.
It's like trying to run before you can even before you've even took a first step.
Yes.
And the only reason I ain't achieved this rubbish, it ain't rubbish. I absolutely love it. I can't read and write, as you know. I can read a little, write nothing. I'm trying to get my son to actually write it for me. I've got like a little bit of knowledge, but I can't put it onto paper.
Well, I could get a template for one and fill in the blanks, and you could do the same thing. But that's what it is a template. And
how do you get it? Like, if you never had a birth certificate, how do you get one? Like when you're 17, or you just make it up from scratch, or just use the born record?
No, I had to take my family Bible. You got to remember, I'm in my 50s. So this was back when you had just the hometown offices. And I just took my family Bible up there and I told them, the DMV sent me this notice that they were requiring this now. So I need to get one of these.
That's the driver's license, right?
Yeah, that was the driver's license.
So you never did get a birth certificate. You just got the born record. You still to this day sort of thing.
Well, I got a birth certificate now because I did that to get the driver's license renewed because they let me do it with the family Bible. When I thought we had to get the driver's license.
John, could you do me a quick little favour while I'm remembering? Remember that website I sent you, Claimed Your Straw Man, a few weeks back?
Peter Wilson. No.
Yeah, there's a free document in there that she's gone in there. If you could send to that website, because I've got like 9,000 files now.
It's just booting up. But you can keep talking while I'm doing it because I know which one you're talking about. Which website? ClaimYourStrawman.com. And in there, it's a private membership association, right?
No, that ain't in. It's exactly what it says it is. That ain't in now public domain. It's a
private members association. Okay, so how do I get into the document? Enter your first name.
Pardon?
Enter your email address. How do I get into the site to get to the document? Is it in the free section or something?
No, I've sent it you. I've sent you the link through Telegram. About a week or two ago. You remember when we was talking?
I mean, I can find Claim Your Straw. You sent me the link to exactly that page that we're after.
No, just a link to the site with show a DD. I've only got a shitty phone to work off.
I'm on the site now. You can tell me, what's next.
Well, DD is going to need to go through it. It's like status.
Just start. Just give her the home page. Okay.
Yeah, it's just as good as things in the status change. You just got to find it for your. It's the same thing. You just find it for your country. But there's other things in there that's important, like the old arm disagreement and stuff. It's like gives it all out for free in depth with the declaration and all that. You have to change a few of the wordings to South American if you want it to be national or just separate.
Yeah, I found it. I'm already getting ready to send it. I just put D, like, was it worth having a birth certificate, or was that a bad decision? Because can't you still use that as a security?
No,
put that in your trust?
I put it into the trust, yes, already. Part of me, when I found out about all this, I did not like the idea and I was so upset. But then I realized, well, this just is an additional fund. I just have to find my way out so that I get that access. So then it becomes no longer a burden. It becomes something that is worthwhile having. You make it into an asset.
It's into a credit instead of a debt.
Exactly.
Yeah. It'd be good if you could learn me how to do one of them lineage trusts. So
they're not hard to do. I've had, when I took over the trust and the estate and everything, I had to learn all that. So the CPA that was with my grandmother, she was like in her 90s but still cognizant, so she was able to walk me through a lot of stuff and show me things. So the only thing I've got left to do for closing that whole part of it out is my aunt never did the probate and settlement, so I've got to finish that, and then those funds will be open.
What do you mean?
Did your parents have to sign it? Go ahead, Andy, you first.
What do you mean? Put it into probate? Did your grandparents ever sell that property?
We still got the property in France that's in the trust. I've got family that's living there. The probate and settlement is just on my grandmother's death because that was never done.
So when they made your newly, you'll see why I sent you a message, D, because I that's why I'm asking all these questions. I'm trying to. Did your parents sign the birth certificate? Because I'm making one up. I'm thinking about now that you said it's good to have, actually. So.
Yeah, both my parents had to sign with me because I was still underage. I wasn't of legal age yet.
And who created it for you? The state, or like, and it's theirs, or you consider it your? Well, same problem we all have, I guess.
Is your mother and father still alive? Any of them?
Yeah, my mother and father are still alive, and I've already had them do a new statement notarized at my dad did his notarized at the VA, and then my mother did hers notarized at the Superior Court.
Did your father claim to be father? Did he state a claim to be father?
A claim for me?
Just to claim to be your father, nothing else. Yeah.
Just in the notarized statement that I had him do for me, because I was thinking that was back when I was first finding this all out, and I thought I had to have each of them have a notarized statement to help me get back out.
The actual word in the after state a claim.
Yeah, he claimed that I was his blood lineage daughter. It
But
has
he was your inherent father.
yes.
Body of his body, blood of his blood, and his inherent lineage.
Of the lineage of his blood lineage, he didn't go blood of the blood. He just said of his blood lineage.
Yeah, it's you can do it in your own words, I suppose. You know, it don't really matter as long as he's claimed to be father. Really, that's because that's where your inheritance is passed down from.
And they didn't even have, we were completely private, so they don't even have the wedding certificate files at the courts. They have their, it was a little private church that's not like the churches today that are in the public or IRS. It's just a home church, so they just had the church certificate.
A union.
A union. A union.
Brilliant. Was never married with the state then because it was never registered.
Church wedding.
It was never registered because, like I said, my mom was the second person born on this land. I'm the third. So we haven't been here in America that long, just 3 generations.
Person or generations, yeah.
One second.
Not many others haven't been here that long either. So
have you still got your original Bible with that born?
Oh yeah. I've still got my original Bible and my original birth record. Well, they don't call it a birth record in my certificate.
Was that you, Dee, that said about the Bible in France had locks on it and everything? It stood like a few feet high.
Yeah, the one that was passed down, it's the lock's not on it anymore, but it's very old. I had to wrap it up because it needs new binding and the top's off of it.
I'm not going to be able to find out my lineage, and it's going to be too difficult for me to do that because the literal energy levels that I'm facing. So I might just do a regular living trust and not a lineage one. It sounds very complicated.
It is harder if your family didn't keep records. Mine kept records. What I've got is all the way back to the early 1600s. And it did go back, because I remember seeing the one my grandma had. It did go back to like the 1400s, but I think my aunt lost a couple of the pages, so all they gave me was from the 1602, I believe it starts at.
Yeah, I don't think it's that necessary either.
If you did want to do it, you follow your family tree back as far as you can go, and then I'll send you the site where you can track it back farther.
That would be great. I'd love to get all of that back together.
Well,
you ever seen The Quest?
Yeah, but what do you need to know? My what do I need to know? Like, they're impossible to talk to. It's like, okay, I got the name.
Oh, you can look it. Look, you can like you got deaths, births, and marriages, and you can look back your family tree and all that stuff. We got that in England. I don't know. I can't use a computer, but that's how you do it. You go back as far as you can, and then you got your heraldry. And to believe it or not, it all lies in the Vatican. But it's called the heraldry website. I've got it. So you can just...
what is that? Heraldic laws.
Yes, my family's actually on there.
I don't know. I couldn't hear because of the language, the accent. What's the site?
I'll just send
Heraldry.
Heraldry.
Yeah, just send it then, because I just get a little confused.
Just the reason I can't drag files at the minute, I'm where my phone ain't going up on the charge. I'm on 5% Leona, so I'm trying not to open anything up. So yeah. Just remind me, because I'm struggling to stay in here.
But if you go on that site, I can show you on that site. My family's on there, and it's got my 4 great grandmother listed for Marguerite, because that's the family name for the females that was passed down until we got to America.
You still got the original document now of your born record. You can have that, like, you can do a lot of things with that.
Keyboard's not working. Did you try your paternal last name is on that site? Because I tried a couple of my grandparents. I only found one of the 4 grandparents' last names on that site. Obviously, you found Bradbury.
Well, I think the Bradbury lineage on mine didn't show up on there, because that's on my dad's side.
Oh,
Now, we always did it through the maternal side, so both of the maternal families are there.
Yeah, mine were too. The maternal ones were there. And both of the other ones were not. That's funny to say that.
Because nobody ever claimed to be father, so the estate lies with the mothers. It happens on the birth certificates now. That's why it says informant, father. And then the mother signs a birth certificate. So the estate lies with the mother. And what they do, if you're born in an hospital, so you can't get out of it, they put it in your mother's medical file, but it's your property. So you need, like, your power of attorney. That's another reason, if you want to access them kind of records, you need your power of attorney, and you need written consent that you got full access to your mother's medical files. It's a good thing to have, to drag things out of the hospital records if you was born in the hospital.
You think I can get all my mother's hospital details, records from her lifetime?
Is she still alive, John?
Oh, no. That would go back to Australia as well, because she had 7 of the children in Australia and about 5 in America. Same mom and dad.
So, Andy, if I was to have my mom write some notice while she's still alive, what do I tell her to write? Like, she has full control.
No. So she's got to do a power of attorney, if it's you that's dealing with it, over her entire estate and all the interest in her estate of Leona. Faye, yeah, and then 3 witnesses, justice of the peace. You can use a notary, but you can't do 2 on the ball, same page.
Is this 2 different documents, power to consent of all medical records, or is this one document?
No, the power of attorney of your entire estate, it's giving you your property back, because the estate still lies with your mother, because you're a minor still, believe it or not. It's what comes after supersedes what's before it. So when they say either reach the age of 18 or take control of your security agreement, what comes last supersedes what's in front of it. So there's a reason why we had to get the power of attorney. Otherwise,
what do we own that's in that estate? What gets handed down, or like if there's nothing, or is there something?
There's a lot. I mean, that's why you probate and do the settlement.
Okay, but I just need something really simple for her to write. So I'm going to write it right now and send it to her. And it's just going to say, I
wouldn't do it right now, Leona. I can
she could die any day, guys. And I don't even know how to tell her to write this. She's
Leona, I can just, when I got more battery, I can just drag you a blueprint out piece to piece.
Okay. And then I'll just have her write that and get it notarized. I mean, she's not going to go she might do some things, but if it's too complicated, she's not going to do it, but she can write still. She's just very strange.
You can print it all out as long as with a notary, then just have to witness them signing it.
Okay.
And the 3 witnesses.
Yep.
Yeah. And then she's got to do a consensual letter to any and all medical records. And you should be entitled to the lot, including baby registration, statement of birth, and so on.
Does she have to declare that I was born on another statement, or?
No. It's all there in the hospital records. That's why it's got a records department. It's got an archive. You still, even when like you've merged yourself with the state, you have to do a power of attorney from the state to yourself, and then like to your person, and from your person to you.
Yeah.
Like your proper written name. And grammar as well. People forgetting the grammar. Like earlier, it says up a lowercase name. I never mentioned grammar. Put it in there. Colons, punctuation stuff. You know, it's got to be there.
Yeah, that one that I was reading didn't have commas.
I have a friend, Andy, whose grandfather, great-grandpa, a lot of generations left in his family, like 5. Would it be to his advantage if his grandpas were like, yeah, well, great-grandpa was like, put our estate, like, a power to same thing what you guys are doing. Is that's important too, right? The grandparents and the great-great, if they're alive.
Pardon, I don't get what you was on about then, John, sorry.
Like, can you do the same thing with your grandparents and great-grandparents if they're still alive? Say someone was your age, but his great-grandparents were still alive. And it's just more estate that you're saying in the say the grandparent was willing to pass it because no one else asked. So.
Oh, that's a will, that is. That's a will. That's something different. But if you want your estate, if your father never claimed to be father, your estate lies with your mother. That's why women normally always win the offspring in court, because the estate lies with them. And the fathers are like, even if the father's totally innocent, done nothing wrong, and the mother could be. That's why it's like that. It's set like that.
Better to go through the mother, okay.
Well, yeah.
Usually through the mom.
Yeah. Years and years ago, that's why they used to say, make an honest woman of her. A woman should never be seen in court. It's either the father who'd have to go in court, or her husband. The women shouldn't have to be there. But everything's kind of like, you know how it is.
Backwards.
Yeah, like as if she was lost at sea on a ship. You know,
yeah, and we're all in this situation together. So even if you have the desire to be one way, you still don't always have that option. That's what people forget. They preach as if it's always an option. Some don't have the option to do things the right way, you know?
There's summit. I can't think of the word and I'm too tired up. I'll have to go back over the recording because it's a word that I've got to listen to a few times. But it means if you're in court and you're a woman and you refer to this certain word, it means go and fetch my father. Even if they cannot deal with you. Mm-hmm. I forgot the word, but to be fair, it's one of them words that I just can't pick up anyway. But I've got the recordings of it. It's quite good. But everybody should have a security agreement. I think. Why should you rely on them for their security agreement? And it should be kept really short. Why would you want to remember loads and loads of stuff? I think some of the powerful security agreements are 1 page or less than a 4-page. And them are some of the best ones I've had or seen. Them really, really long ones that just nag forever. Fancy trying to hold that up, and it's always private anyway. You've only got to tell them you got your own security agreement. Why would you tell them anything else? Everything's private.
Right. Security agreement, what would that look like?
Like a UCC1 financing statement, maybe.
Well, that's separate. You create your own securities.
What's another word for security agreement? Property agreement?
Entitlement rights.
That's it. It says on the tin. Sorry, I have to go and check what the banking was. It's exactly what it says on the tin. It's a security agreement. Just have a look for some blueprints of a security agreement, but you can make them really small. Like really small.
I can show you an example tomorrow, God willing.
Yeah, it takes me ages to search for stuff, so it's close to 9,000 files on this phone now.
Someone was saying the indenture agreement should be 100 pages as long as possible.
There's different types. What I learned yesterday was brilliant. It can just be a certificate of trust, like a trust deed, and then you can do an audio. I've never had that before, and it's somebody who's like done this since 1991 got through, and I feel privileged to be speaking to at least 4 people that have done it, and the different ways that they've done it. It's good.
Front page, back page, certificate of what did they do? Different things.
No, one about like actually, you can actually create a living trust with 2 pages and an audio. He said that a living trust can actually even be 2 pages. He's going to give me some of his examples. Created his own foundations, everything.
And a little audio recording. How long? Just like you read some more pages.
Yeah, it's dictated like dictaphone. You dictate your indentures.
Did you say dictate?
Like a recorded audio. you know.
Yeah, it's funny how that word has two meanings.
I'm tired. I'm just trying to put it as fast as.
No, yeah, that would be interesting. 2 pages in audio. I've never heard of that before.
John, are you in Guardian's group?
I don't think so. What's it called? Just Guardian?
Guardian of the Light. There was a gentleman, they had a special guest on there. He did his in just 1 page.
How long ago? If I'm on hers, I'll go up to chat and have a search around. What was it called?
Guardian of Light. He was on there sometime last week, maybe Tuesday.
Pastor of the Way. I remember what it was, but not right now. I don't remember, but it was like.
No, Pastor of the Way did the second chat on that because he was in the group with me when he was doing it.
Oh.
It wasn't Pastor that did it.
Oh, I missed it then. Oh, Pastor of the Way.
Oh, remind me to find that. I don't
know. Pastor Penn, yeah, no, it's simple.
It may have been Pastor Penn. I'm not sure.
There's 2 pastors? Okay.
Oh, there's several of them.
Yeah, it was definitely Pastor. It's definitely him. He always comes on and shows stuff. He's really cool. He's from Georgia.
Yeah, it may have been Pastor Penn. I just don't remember for sure. I just remember he was mentioning the 1-page Living Trust and that he pulled it up and wrote it.
It is for sure.
People in Georgia. That could be in the same city as you, Dee.
Yeah, us Georgians that are doing things and have gotten to a certain level, we're all meeting up on the 25th, and we're doing they're doing a live Zoom for the group. And then we're going to have a meeting, I guess, either before or after to help some others that need to go through, like the driver's license stuff, just the basic stuff.
I don't know what happened to Perry. He didn't try very hard to get onto the group, I guess. But maybe he's busy. But yeah, Pastor Penn. Huh? I read Georgia is one of about the 10 states that claimed sovereignty in 1994.
Well, I know all the 13 original colonies here, you don't have to get anything authenticated at the federal level.
My great-great-grandmas from Rhode Island, I don't have to do hers on a federal level. Might be 3 greats. So, but I'm thinking that Rhode Island, but Georgia's one of the original 13 colonies, isn't it? I forgot about that.
Yeah, I listed them. It's all about that treaty in 1776. I listed them all. It's a treaty with Britain.
Does that help someone who just moved to the New England colonies or states, or they had to be born there?
Yeah, it said if so. Yeah. If you come here, you have rights to your state. Nothing will get in the. It said nothing should impede. Nothing can impede that. You just have to invoke that treaty, like the Moors.
You have to be born there. Okay. So you have to have been born there, just live there, or
no, you don't have to be born here. You don't have to be born.
You can invoke the treaty. There's Moors all over the place. Yep.
It was 1787.
They were saying on those that are doing the Soul Corp or LLCs or any of that Delaware is one of those states it's much easier process.
That was one of the 13. That's one of the states in that treaty. The rest are over here.
Delaware is one of the places that you do a UCC.
Right.
Is that the fair state?
No. But it was probably early.
It's listed in that 1776 treaty, Delaware.
The Delaware Treaty or something. Oh, wow.
Which
No,
one's
the
a
Britain
which one's a fair
Magistracy.
state? Is it Minnesota or Delaware? I know it's one of them two.
No, it's on the East Coast, New England. Minnesota is just kind of an odd case in the middle of the state of 10,000 lakes, I think it is. Is that their motto?
I think so. I'm not sure. I know it's up there with all the lakes.
It's got a special jurisdiction for the UCC, though.
Maybe it's because of all the lakes. I don't know.
But Minnesota's got a special jurisdiction for that sole proprietor.
How is it special? I mean, I know it's special 220 and all that, but I mean, in your words. It's a unique jurisdiction, yeah, for achieving results.
Yeah, kind of. It's recording. You can't piss about, can you?
And then someone was telling me, Dee, that with the Universal Life Church, you don't actually have to buy the New York package. You actually sign up and you're ordained automatically. But if you just want the paperwork and stuff, you buy like. Is that why? Does that sound right to you? Because you've been there for a while.
My New York package just has extra stuff.
All right, you don't actually have to buy. You just log in and you're an ordained minister. But yeah, you said that was a good one because it's world recognized, kind of worldwide. That's why I wanted to.
Right, and it has a lot of the stuff you would want to get individually if you went to the shop. So it just had more stuff in it, and it was easier to do it because it has more authority.
And then did you get it authenticated?
I didn't get it authenticated. I keep that all in the private.
The private doesn't use up.
A justice of the peace can see a man, and it does a different thing to a notary, and a notary can be seen in the court. So you got to pick which one you need for what document. So that's why when you do a power of attorney to yourself, giving yourself, of your entire estate and whatnot. That's why it's better to have a justice of the peace, because you're turning it over to the man or the woman. But if it's something that's ever got to go into court, that's why it's a public notary, because it's already a court record document.
Are you saying it would be better to have those documents authenticated then?
Which one was that? Which one was it for? What document was you on about then?
John was talking about the ordained minister.
I think that'd be a stick. So I think I'm just guessing. I ain't done. We've got a ministry, but I don't set that up. I think that'd be notarized, but I can check for you. I only get about.
I've never gotten mine notarized, and I've just kept it in the private because I didn't want to get tied up into how some of the organizations that are churches and everything go into the 5013C, and then that's all in there. So I wanted to keep it all in the private.
Two forms. I was a taxable one and a non-taxable one, and then there's another way of doing it.
The 508 is the one that is not taxed. That isn't a 501, right?
I shattered, Leon. The numbers don't work well when I'm tired. Sometimes a day.
Everyone talks about 508. But Andy, some of these guys might have missed what you were talking about the other day, that a minister can get people out of jail and stuff. He says, because they can't, it's not legal advice, it's counsel. And that's property, and with the right
you can have
authentications, paperwork.
A trust can do it. If your trust has got like a board of 12, you can have 3, 6, 9, 12. And like them kind of write their laws down.
I told Pastor this morning, I said, I'm going to have a couple board of directors. He said, you can't afford that. How are you going to hire them? And I'm like thinking in my head, I was just going to pick people I know around that I like.
Yeah, the trust starts with people you trust. That's how it should be.
Exactly.
What happens is the board kind of does elect, they elect to the things, the minutes on where the trust is moving.
And what the trustee does helps get people. It takes custody of prisoners.
And like say you're attorney general of your own trust, the attorney general of the trust council, attorney general council of that trust, or whatever you want to put it, whichever way you want to write it, or just council, and you give them instructions at them to be released within 1 hour, because there's no true crime and the land broke of that land. Then if it's an act and a statute, then if you've done things to back it up, then they've made a right mistake. If they don't do as the instructions follow. But like I said, it's recording. It's just like a court case can be tied into a trust. A bank account be tied into a trust. Even a driving license can be tied up into a trust if they want.
I need to get this trust done so I can take my court case where they're screwing me and put that in the trust. I need to do it soon. You know?
Have you been to court?
No, I don't go to court. Are you kidding me? I was on the floor, but it's still sitting in the docket.
Yeah,
you were on the floor?
Inside that square box.
Yeah, I didn't go inside a court. They hit me in a car accident, and it's still in the docket 11 years later.
I'm saying, did you put your name inside the square box to get into the court, and that never went?
No. It's just a lawyer, you know? I don't know what to do. You know, there's so many pieces that I have to try to pick back out of the mud while I'm not out of the mud yet, you know? But I could at least put that into my trust.
Well, there's a couple of us doing a trust in the next couple of days. We'll just have to join forces.
Yeah, I got some stuff to help with that, but I don't know if it's that helpful because it's for those that deal with, you know, statutory trust, because they're lawyers that build them so the courts can't penetrate. And we're talking about a different type of trust, I guess.
No, statutory can be penetrated.
Yeah, you should never. Just the statutory trust is not good for that.
I know, and they're lawyers and they build trust around the rules of the IRS. So, you know, maybe it's not useful information. Maybe it's just programming me.
In statutory acts and all that crap, it shouldn't be in your living trust at all.
No, I know, Andy. Andy, it's about how you build it so it can't be penetrated by statutory laws. But again, it doesn't matter if it's a foreign trust, I guess. But people think those can't be penetrated too. But It's just listening to these people that are in build the trust for like the Rothschilds and stuff. It's lawyers that are very, very high up. They teach in this stuff in webinars. I don't know how.
Is it New Mexico or something like that you got in America? Is it a place called New Mexico?
No, it's just a back end into these sites for CPAs.
No, I said, is there a place called New Mexico in America?
Yeah, there is a place called New Mexico in America.
I think that's got a special jurisdiction.
It does. It does. I
Roswell.
don't know what it is.
Roswell, New Mexico.
But I saw UFO. Someone do their live birth in New Mexico, so there must be something to it. Of all the places she picked.
Yeah, for a living trust as well. Doing it as a foreign. Some people do it so they're foreign from the government. But the people don't realise even in your country you've got like Washington DC is he's passed through the way, as you were saying earlier. You know, some places have got a different jurisdiction even in the same country.
I think they called it New Mexico to keep the Mexicans happy because the treaty was.
I'll read this. This is what this New York Post says. I know that it's not
Leona, sorry to interrupt you, but Leona, sorry to Leona, can you hear me? Sorry to interrupt you.
Learn from crap on the road. So a district. Yeah.
Sorry, do you know who you was on about earlier, passed through the way? Is that who's just come in the group? Who's gives you that knowledge?
Yeah, well, we were talking this morning.
Hey.
We were talking this morning about the foundation being the trustee, and he was saying that could work. But listen, I'm going to tell you what it says about New Mexico. Hold on, and then talk to him in a minute. Pastor Penn is the one that put the trust up in the group. 2 different pastors. Hold on, let me read this. Hold on. Okay, a District of Columbia clerk and a supervisor refused to accept a New Mexico man's state driver's license as he sought a marriage license because she and her supervisor believed New Mexico was a foreign country. Gavin Clarkson told the Las Cruz Sun News it happened November 20th at the District of Columbia Court's Marriage Bureau as he tried to apply for a marriage license. After approaching the clerk for a license and showing the New Mexico ID, Clarkson said the clerk told him he needed an international passport to get a marriage license. Clarkson said he protested to the supervisor, who also told him that he needed a foreign passport. I have no idea what that's about, but
well, they don't know that Canada is north of America. A lot of Americans, so they must. Anyway, I think Andy, that's passed away. That's Andy from England.
It
was an interesting story. This shows that how ignorant some people are.
The clerk finally concluded New Mexico was The clerk finally concluded New Mexico was a state after Clarkson objected 3 times. The clerk generated a license to Clark and his fiancée. She thought New Mexico was a foreign country, Clarkson said. All the couples behind us in line were laughing. In a statement, a D.C. court system acknowledged the staff. Okay, so there is no special jury. As far we understand that clerk in our marriage. Okay, sorry guys, I thought maybe that was something to yeah, never mind.
The epitome of ignorance, someone not knowing that New Mexico is one of the 50 states. Someone not knowing it. Correct.
How many different foreign jurisdictions are in America?
How many are there in England?
In England, oh, there's quite a few, to be fair. You got Britain, England, Albion, UK, City of London, the True City of London, Southern Ireland.
Okay, we have New World, Southern North America. It's a lot of names too. In East Indies, West Indies, USA, US of A, U.S.
Is USA the proper jurisdiction for America?
I think you got to spell it out with a small s or a small u.
It's just when in England, when it's like of somewhere, when it says like city of somewhere, it's not on or in somewhere. It's just an entity.
I just stick with America usually because that's, I guess, another one. Are you speaking geographically or anyway? We had a really weird echo and speed up delay thing there just a minute ago.
But that was just my phone, to be honest, because my battery's dead low. How are you doing, Pastor of the Way? Nice to say hello to you, anyway, if you can hear me.
He might be driving his truck. 18. I wonder how many wheels it does have.
In England, it's 8 ton per axle. To the weight it carries.
So does it feel like there's two Londons? Like, I'm surprised that Greater London is not kind of poor and the city of London really rich, like the haves and have-nots. Is there a bit of that?
The rest of it ain't the city. It can't be classed as a city. It's let me try and think of the proper word for it. It's a county. There's only 1.2 square mile that's a city, and I think there's 3 jurisdictions in that city of London anyway. You got like it all lies in the same. You got the true city of London, which is different from the city of London. That'd be like St Paul's Cathedral. That's a totally different jurisdiction. And you got like Westminster Abbey, which is like a state, and then you got the city of London, the corporate entity, the banking. It's a lot of things. That's why I said I've got that Articles Association, and it's just weird how far it goes back, 2,000 years. I wish I could read, to be honest, but it's a 700-page thing. But the knowledge you could gain about history of everywhere is unreal. People are still, because it's trickery of words as well. 1 minute. My voice is going a bit, I've got CLPD.
That's all right. And it might take you forever to go through all the trickery names and jurisdictions.
Now it tells you, like, there's 5 different There's 5 different English languages. You got Queen's English, Parliament's English. Parliament is French for like taught lies. You got Common English. You got 2 different variations of that. So like you got Common Law English and the Commoners, like as us. What was the other one? I forgot the last one anyway. But there's 5 different English languages, and it sounds like all the same words, but it ain't. It means different things. And they'll never tell you what the Queen's English is. There's very few people that can. But she's Queen of Scots, to be fair. She's just trustee of the land of everywhere else. The Queen's people is the Scottish people. But I think she's got most of the land in trust, if I've got it right, like throughout the world.
If you go back to the meaning of Scottish, it's African, right? The Scots, Scot-free.
The jurisdiction ever got the kind of title she got was through Morocco.
Yep, Scotia, Nova Scotia. It goes back to some.
And it's.
Good morning.
How you doing?
I'm finally around.
Get some lunch at a truck stop or something? Dinner, breakfast?
No, got sleep. By the way, Iona, I shared a picture for you.
What?
I shared a picture in the group for you.
Right now?
A few minutes ago.
I'll go look.
Marshmallow, if you want to sit in my lap, you're going to have to deal with me steering the steering wheel. You're just going to have to deal with it.
Yeah, but the charitable trust can be your trustee for your living trust as well as your beneficiary.
And if you do that charitable trust, aka foundation, as a trust, you still are going to need an LLC to be the trustee of that trust. Because the object of the game is for the man or woman to eliminate the liability. Think about it. If the trust gets sued, who are they going after? The trustee. If the trustee's an LLC, a legal fiction, what can they get?
Listen, you're right. I listened to the guys that do the Rockefeller Trust. I listened to the CPA's webinars today, and they explained the court law, case law over. They tried to go after this one-man band, and even though he was acting as a trustee in the LLC, when he was, they said blah, 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 and they said it could be the same, and they said no, and that was all good. It was all good. It got thrown out of court. The court favored, the IRS favored the laws on that. Now, when one person tried to act in another position and didn't do the right signature as trustee in a different position, that caused problems.
Yeah, that's why. Yeah, and that's why you got to have another legal fiction that is a legal trustee, and you sign all the papers as that LLC, and you're in the private. And that's when you get into the secured party process doing it correctly. The secured party process, as it's being taught, I've done it. because I believed in it, because until I realized that Social Security is the trust, and those laws still apply, and I started looking at that, and I realized, wait a minute, no wonder there's certain things that are not right. But it's all a learning process.
How about the other way around, Pastor? Like you said, the LLC is the trustee. How about the trustee is the LLC? Is that the opposite?
Yeah, that the trustee is the LLC. Yes, same thing. The LLC is the trustee is the LLC, same thing.
Oh, okay.
Do you know, you just said about that, do you know the shareholders can then be held accountable for it, whoever the shareholders are LLCs?
No, the shareholders are never accountable.
It's called a pass through, and these guys know that. That's why, they're talking about it in the setup. But the thing is that if foundation, a non-charitable trust, could operate the same as that LLC, I think. I don't know.
But here's the problem. The foundation needs to be your trust that is managed by an LLC, because the foundation is a trust built for a specific purpose. And that means you have to do that purpose. You can't do whatever you want.
Unless you're the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation.
No, they follow their purpose. That's why they don't get in trouble. Go look at the Clinton Foundation. You remember Uranium One? You remember how she didn't get in trouble? Because why? It all ran through the Clinton Foundation. And
what was Uranium One? Uranium, I kind of remember that.
Where Uranium One was where the Clintons were
continue on the current road.
were putting they were giving uranium to Russia for nuclear fuel. And the news media made a big deal out of it. Well, guess what? I went on Westlaw and looked it up, and they followed all the rules. They got permission from the government to do it. But that's where the media comes in and plays the left and right card to keep everybody at each other's throat. I mean, if she did something illegal on Uranium One, she'd go to jail, but she didn't. She ran it through the foundation, the Clinton Foundation. And the Clinton Foundation is a trust.
But it's not supposed to harm people. They get away with murder?
Where's the evidence that she harmed anybody?
Pastor, can you stop the recording on here?
I already did stop it and start it back up once.
But I can
if you want me to. Give me a second.
Yeah, if you don't mind.
Give me a second. I'm making a turn. I'm not at NASCAR, so it's not a left turn. It's a right turn.
Someone was at NASA. I think it was Fearless Floyd.
Yes, Fearless Floyd's at NASA.